He finds James for the two-handed dunk. James had 15 in the first half. Chris Paul had no points in the first half. He had 6 assists, though. Hits Booker right there, and then Booker to Mikal Bridges. The Suns, 10 of 17 from 3 in the first half. That's excellent. And the Suns were up 7 at the half. Booker and James both with 15. Third quarter, Lakers are down 5. LeBron James looking for the pass. Gets tied up right there. Complains as DeAndre Ayton hits Booker on the other end. I was watching this game, you could hear the whistle, and it was a technical foul on LeBron James and Coach Vogel. And then shortly thereafter, you could hear the whistles again, and Booker, he got one for his mouth there, and he got the other one for that from the other official there. So Booker, who's coming off 43 Sunday against Minnesota, is out of this game before the third quarter's over. He had 17, and you figure, okay, well, the Lakers are going to come back. Lakers are shorthanded, though. No Kuzma, no Gasol, and, of course, no Anthony Davis. Paul hits the 3 right there. He had 8 points, 10 assists. Crowder, after Bridges saved that, he had 15. Cameron Johnson to Nader. Suns shot 16 of 29 from 3. That's 56%. You're going to win a lot of games like that, but will you win this one? LeBron James. He hits the 3. Lakers are down 11, though. It was so fun to say it once. Let's do it again. LeBron James. He hits another 3. He had 38. 16 of 24, shooting 3 of 8 from 3. But the Suns, too much. Dennis Schroeder misses. Bridges finishes. And the Suns finish off the Lakers. 114 to 104.
Hey, LeBron, I know there's a game to go tomorrow night, but Markieff was just talking about the mental, physical fatigue of him and some of his teammates. Just wondering, you from a leadership perspective, how you've noticed that play out, whatever the case may be, in the last couple of weeks, whatever it is, and how you've been trying to kind of get through this patch as a team to get to the break.
Just just trying to stay in the moment. I mean, for me, just staying in the moment, keeping my guys motivated, keeping them, upbeat, and you could definitely tell that some of our guys are just feeling the midst of the long season that we had last year with the bubble, and then coming right back on to the season this year. So a lot of guys are looking forward to the break, so it'll be beneficial to our guys.
I guess for tonight's matchup, but then just in general, how do you feel about with no AD, with no Mark, going small and trying to stay big? How difficult is that within the course of a matchup tonight and tomorrow night as well?
Well, it's no AD, no Mark, and no Kuz. So this is 3 of our top 6 rotational players. Major pieces. So difficult challenge for us. But we had some good contributions tonight. I thought Duz gave us some great minutes. I thought Taylor gave us some good minutes, and also D Jones gave us some good minutes too in the little amount of minutes that he played. So we just try to pick up for guys when guys are out.
Okay, David Menahan, please.
Well, Rod, 2 quick ones for you. The first on the game, when Booker was ejected, do you feel like that had any effect on you guys as a group, either way, for the rest of the game?
No.
Okay, and secondly, you were wearing some bright green FAMU sneakers. Any story behind that?
Well, first of all, Nike has always, been a great supporter of FAMU, and obviously, my ties with Nike, and obviously, my ties with wanting to support. The HBCUs and FAMU being one of them. That's a great institution, and I was happy I was able to, rock those tonight, and hopefully something, in the near future can come about it. So, it's a great school, like I said, great institution, and I was happy to be able to, showcase those kicks for the night, and continue my support, for these black colleges.
LeBron, going back to Dave's first question. What was your perspective on Booker's ejection, and did you see that as a justified ejection? And then, as a competitor, how do you feel when you see another All-Star leave a game like this?
I don't know. I mean, I was focused on the game, to be honest. I don't know what was said, out on the floor. So, you always want to compete against the best, and you don't ever want to see someone get ejected, but I have no idea what was said on the floor, so I don't know.
Okay, Kyle Goon, please.
Hey LeBron, you guys have been talking about preparing for this kind of moment, these kind of hits to your depth, and obviously you never know what's going to happen this season, but is it just different going through it when you hear about Mark out in the afternoon, Kuz out on the sport tip up, and I mean, do you just feel like it's just hard to even tackle until you're experiencing it?
But yeah, I mean, even though we've been, prepared all season, knowing the COVID rules and COVID and things of that nature, that you could be hit with some spontaneous, I guess, guys being out, very rapidly and things of that nature. But it's always tough, especially like, we played so well the last 2 games. We're getting back into a rhythm, and then we find out today, 2 of our big guns are out. So, it's definitely deflating, especially when you were playing poorly and then you get a good rhythm and then you hit with that. So, it definitely hurts our ball club.
Okay, Dan White, please.
Hey LeBron, 2 real quick ones. At the end of the game, I think it was Abdul Nader kind of stole the ball when you were trying to dribble out the clock. I'm just curious your reaction to that. And then sort of secondly, when you have a player who enters the protocol, potentially possibly for a positive test, I guess, are there anxious moments that kind of surround that, knowing when you see what happens in, say, Toronto, what was happening in Washington, and with some other teams and stuff like that?
Listen, you play the game to the end of the end of the clock. You play it to the zeros. So that's my answer to the first one. To the second one, no, I mean, listen. We have our COVID rules and we have our COVID restrictions and guidelines, things of that nature. So just to try to abide by them, try to stay healthy, try to stay safe, and take care of what you can, you can take care of, and what you can't control.
Renee, I'm going to start with you. Do you like, love, or hate LeBron's rebuttal to Zlatan?
I like it. I don't love it. And the reason why I don't love it is that I thought LeBron should have went at him harder. I love the fact that LeBron pointed out his hypocrisy, how this was the same guy who did speak about his name and racist connotations that came along with it, and how he was being prejudiced against in the past. But yet when it came to LeBron James and others, he's speaking about how, folks need to speak to sports. I think that what he would say, he should have been more specific. He was basically trying to say the black athlete should stick to sports. That's how I took it. And essentially, what are you meaning by that? Because you have a lot of people in this world who look at black men and believe, instead of showing them the deference and respect that they've earned and they deserve and giving them major, major props for that, as opposed to doing that, they feel like these athletes should be appreciative and should never feel entitled because of what they've earned. And so you do have a lot of folks out in this world that look at black men who are particularly influential and incredibly powerful, and they feel they should stay in a certain place. They should be more appreciative as opposed to feeling deserving and things of that nature. And I think this shows that, the kind of prejudice that we're accustomed to experiencing as black men, it doesn't just exist in America. I've had the fortune of, particularly with Stephen A's World, of interviewing several people on my show from different other parts of this world, and they talk about how the black experience itself is the black experience. It ain't just in America. It's the world over. And so to me, this is the latest example of that. And I loved how LeBron came back and responded, but I also thought that LeBron was very classy and far too nice compared to what he could have been by an individual that was basically not only telling him to just shut up and play basketball, but he was also an individual that was telling him, you shouldn't be the one doing it, but evidently I could, because when I had an issue, I certainly brought it up, and it didn't have anything to do with the field of play. So it's okay for me to speak on things, but you should know your place. That's how I took it. I think that's how LeBron James took it. And LeBron handled it with the deference, the class, the decorum that obviously nobody can argue with. I'm just saying, if it were me, I'd have been a hell of a lot harsher.
I love LeBron James's response. You like it, Stephen A., because you think he could have gone harder at Zlatan? I love LeBron's response precisely because he didn't. Because look, Zlatan's entitled to his opinion, even if we think it's wrong-headed. Now, Stephen A., if you read into it and say, what are you really saying? I get it. But actually, LeBron's measured response, just stating the facts, I think was the most effective possible response. And look what he said. It's on the bottom of the screen. There's no way I would ever just stick to sports. The operative word is because I understand this platform and how powerful my voice is. In other words, if you want to talk about a moral responsibility, if you are a member of an oppressed group historically, then LeBron feels it. That's great. That's great that he responded the way he did. He is not making ad hominem attacks at Zlatan, although he points out, hey, look, you were saying kind of similar stuff where you're from, right? Like you were saying, hey, my last name, whatever else, led to behavior toward me that I didn't like. And what's curious, by the way, LeBron could have gone on. I've heard interviews where one interview in particular, where Zlatan was asked about Muhammad Ali. And immediately, he's like playing word association. Immediately, he says, the best, the greatest, my idol. And Zlatan is, loud and he celebrates himself the way Ali did. But if Ali's your idol, it's not just because he bragged a lot. It's because Ali stood up for what he believed in and stood for his people and oppression and oppressed groups everywhere, really, by the end of his career. So it is curious that Zlatan has that point of view about Muhammad Ali, had that point of view about himself in Europe, but then has this point of view about LeBron. And LeBron's response to me is pitch perfect. I don't think it could be any better. No ad hominem attack, points out a hypocrisy, says, hey, wait a minute, why is that okay for you, but not okay for me? And most importantly, reinforces the idea that he feels a responsibility to do it. Not just that whether, I can do it or I should just stay in my lane. No. LeBron saying, I have a responsibility given my platform. Pitch perfect, I have to say, as usual by LeBron.
No, Max, I have to disagree, and that's nonsense. Ain't nothing was pitch perfect about that response. And matter of fact, I hated the response that LeBron James gave, and here's why. He should have addressed Zlatan or whatever his name is, like the numbers on the house, and should have made him smell his cologne in that response. And by me saying that, because it's not about politics. It's not that LeBron James speaks out about politics. He's speaking out about humanity. All right, this is what we're talking about, humanity. What's going on in the black community these days? That's what LeBron James stands for. Growing up in Akron, Ohio, coming up really without a father figure in his life, knowing why the purpose why he opened up a I Promise school and wanted to provide such great people to help these kids in these black communities so they could get knowledge, so they could get up out of those communities and be something in life. Because we go through so much that it get overlooked. Okay, and what I'm not about to sit up here and stand for is no athlete or no other person, especially from another country, tell one of our powerful, iconic figures how to speak up and how to be a black man in America and be a leader in America. I'm not about to tolerate it. And LeBron should have addressed him like the numbers on the house, like I said before, because look, we deal with so much oppression for over 400 plus years. You talk about things to nature where father figures are incarcerated for whatever reason and getting football numbers where they're not there in their children's lives nowadays. And now they need powerful, iconic figures like LeBron James, Russell Westbrook, Dwayne Wade, Maya Moore, all these beautiful athletes that have been standing on the front line to make sure that these kids get the best opportunity that others are getting around the world. So